of the markets yesterday, obviously, the D Street saw a bit of a fall coming in the trading session, a bit of a slope or a downtick in terms of through the day. That the move we saw coming in. Now, today we do have some of these Asian markets which are open. Hong Kong, so that's the Hang Seng that's come back and opening after the Lunar New Year holidays. As of now, Hang Seng is down almost 1%. Then we have the Japanese index, that's Nikkei, that is also there. That's down more than 1% as well. Even the Korean index is not managing to hold on to any gains. ASX 200 bit muted as well. So nothing exciting coming in as a handover from the Asian market this morning. US market handover has not been exciting. That's why the Nifty implied open is indicating a bit of a red start for our Indian markets, down 18 points in trade. But, given that the fall that we saw coming in, what's going to be happening next in today's trading session, that will be key to watch out for. How are these cues impacting our Indian markets in terms of important cues that you should keep an eye out on? What are the stocks that you should be keeping on your radar? Cues in the world of F&O. We have a team of research who's going to be joining it in with us right now. First up, let's go across to Sudarshan right away to get those important cues in the world of F&O. Sudarshan, yesterday, surely we did see a decline. Now today, what are we keeping an eye out on here?
Well, yesterday in the early morning, we thought that it would be a good day of trade, but geopolitical tensions have weighed on the market, and that has led to a big sell-off in the second half of the trade session. And that's the reason you see Nifty falling from the day's high of around 25,700 to less than 25,400. But at the end, it has managed to close above 25,400, but it has given up all the key levels. And there was a major call writing in the range of 25,600 to 25,800, and that's the reason we have seen even by FIs in both index futures and the stock futures, they were the sellers. In the index futures, they sold almost 600 crore. In the stock futures, they sold almost 2,030 crore. While if you talk about the exposure, they did add long positions, but the concern is the addition on the short side, where they have added more than 7,000 contracts. And as far as the exposure is concerned, it remains on the long side 23% and on the short side around 77%. In the options data, as I told you, there was a huge call writing, and that's the reason on the put side, one put option that was the most active and which saw an increase in the premium was 25,400. But on the call side, from 25,600 to 25,800, all the call options have seen a sharp fall in the premium. And as far as the stocks are concerned, two stocks remain in the band. For support, Nifty, now the next support comes around 25,320, and resistance, the buying will return in Nifty only when it crosses the level of 100 DMA, that is 25,700. Keep an eye on all the IT stocks because selling has returned in the global IT stocks. And yesterday in the US market, US session, we saw a big fall in majority of the names. Even Infosys ADR and Wipro ADR were down. So keep an eye on all amongst mid caps, persistent in large caps, Infosys, HCL Tech and TCS.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for that. Surely we'll keep an eye out on all those IT names as well in the world of F&O. But let's go across to Gaurav, who's here now to tell us the important cues also that you should be keeping an eye out on for the markets today. Good morning, Gaurav.
Well, good morning. If you look at Nifty, it declined almost by 1.4%. And the last time when you saw such sharp fall was in 2nd January 2026, where we saw Nifty declining almost by 1.9%. If you look at Nifty constituents, only 4 of the stocks were in green. In fact, all the other stocks were in red. We've got ONGC, Hindalco, HDFC Life and Dr. Reddy's who were in green. So let's see if they continue to sustain that gaining momentum. On the other hand, if you look at the sectoral indices, all the sectoral indices were in red. By the end of the day, we saw Nifty Realty declining more than 2.5%, while Nifty Auto, Nifty FMCG, Nifty Banks, in fact Nifty IT, now that also declined more than 1%. On the FII and DII side, if you look at the sell-off amount, FIIs were net sellers, but surprisingly, in the last trading session, we saw DIIs also selling worth 596 crores. Yesterday, if you look at some of the top gainers, we will be closely watching out these companies, specifically given that there was such a weakness in the market. We've got companies like Newgen Software, Datamatics, Tata Investments, Nitin Spinners and NDL Ventures. All of these stocks were not only up in trade, but also saw a strong volume gain yesterday. So let's see if they continue to gain in today's today's session as well. If you look at OMCs, now specifically these stocks will be under focus in the likes of HPCL, BPCL and IOCL, because we saw crude oil price momentum, which is actually dependent on the US and Iran situation. So let's see if there is any new development there. And lastly, from the global lens and the macro lens, we have got FX reserves data and RBI MPC minutes of meeting for Indian market. From the Asian markets, we will still see China and Vietnam market close because of the Chinese New Year. And from the US market, let's see and let's track core PCE price index and the GDP data set for fourth quarter of CY25. Let's also not forget that there will be opinion day from US Supreme Court. It is also going to be crucial given that there may be some news which can come on Trump tariffs. So let's see how it goes for Indian markets today.
Absolutely. Surely important updates that we are watching out for even on the global front. Thanks so much for that, Gaurav. But let's move across to Ria now, who's here to tell you which are the important stocks that you should be keeping on your radar. Good morning, Ria.
Well, good morning. Let's start off with Novartis first. Novartis AG has entered into an agreement with Chris Capital to sell roughly 7.68% stake in the company. Chris Capital has launched an open offer with the price set at rupees 860.64 per share. Moving on, ABB India will also be in focus on the back of its earnings for the fourth quarter of calendar year 25. The net profit has come in slightly below estimates at 433 crores, while the revenue has come in above estimates at 3,557 crores for the quarter. For CIE Automotive as well, they have reported their earnings for quarter 3. The net profit has seen an increase of roughly 10.5%. Even the revenue has gone up by around 13.5% to 2,393 crores in this quarter. Pace Digitech will also be in focus. They have received an order worth roughly 89 crores from RailTel for the supply of video surveillance systems. Moving on to Zydus Life, US FDA has closed its inspection at the injectable medical devices unit of the company with no observations. And lastly, keep an eye on Swiggy as well. They are going to shut down their food delivery app called Snack after it failed to scale after initial operations in cities like Bangalore and Gurgaon.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ria.